Hey guys, Gareth here. It's Tuesday, October 6th, and what we're going to do is have a look at some of the series that we've ran on the app over the last couple of days that we think you should have a listen to. So let's jump in. So here we are on the Noa website. It's the same selection of content that you'll find in the app itself. And as we scroll down, one of the standout series for me this week is End of Oil. Can BP's New Direction work? It's relevant because if we go back a couple of months to pre-COVID, we remember that CO2 emissions and climate change was a front and center topic on people's minds. This is sort of bringing that back to the fore. Essentially, one of the world's largest oil companies is saying, yeah, we're going to invest massively in renewable energy. Bit of history on BP actually as well is that it was set up at the time of strong Iranian UK relations, and British Petroleum was the company that was set up over in Iran to mine and refine oil over there. Times have changed since then. The next series that I definitely recommend is The Mysterious Death of Jimi Hendrix. Kind of just a nice laid back series that you can listen to, even though it's obviously on a more dire subject, but it really kind of brings you behind the scenes as to what happened over his final days and hours, and gives you a better sense of the musician himself. Definitely worth a listen. Explainer here on QAnon, really good explainer, gives a couple of different perspectives from Bloomberg, The Telegraph and MIT Technology Review. I listened to that a couple of weeks back, but we're constantly keeping these series refreshed and updated. If you're an Economist fan, again, we've kind of pulled together the best of September 2020, always mind opening, thought-provoking articles run by The Economist, so well worth a listen. One series that I definitely recommend is, of course, Trump v. Biden. So basically, on the back of the first debate, we ran this series with articles from Business Insider and The Telegraph. Really good series. So it goes into the debate itself, some of which will be kind of front of mind for you. But it also it gives the perspectives of journalists who've been covering this sort of thing for a long time, and they're able to add a bit of historic perspective as well, which is always nice. The last article I really enjoyed as well because it gives a overview of who Proud Boys are, one of the far right groups over in the US, and what their response was to some of Trump's comments during the debate. Definitely worth a listen. As we go down a little bit further, I would also recommend listening to the Vatican piece that we have here on the back of the financial scandal that's been unfolding over the last couple of years there, and what the Pope, so essentially the current Pope, Pope Francis, has really come out and wants to push transparency. But as you push transparency and you bring in auditors, it shakes a few heads and is a bit discomforting. Finally, the last one here on Amy Coney Barrett's appointment, or nomination, I should say, to the US Supreme Court. It's still to be approved by the Senate. Really interesting series. It talks about some of the obvious things in terms of abortion, but also some other cases that you may not have been aware of. Like Brown v. the Board of Education, in terms of equal access to education for minority groups and others. Then I think it's the final article also talks about something called Chevron deference, and there's a potential for the US Supreme Court to change its stance on that. Essentially, Chevron deference allows the government departments themselves to interpret the law that's laid down. So the EPA, for example, the Environmental Protection Agency over in the US, were able to use Chevron deference to put in place different carbon emission rules that weren't specifically in law, but were implied by the law. If that's removed, then literally anything that the government agencies do needs to be specifically set out in the law. So definitely worth to listen as well. So there you have it, guys. That was a quick overview of some of the series on the app this week. They were my recommendations, but there's plenty more to choose from. Some really interesting series. So pop your headphones on, have a listen while on the go or around the house or in the car. You won't be disappointed. And most important, have a good week.